memorize these. From the Gospel of John, chapter 10. It says, at the time of the feast of the dedication, that's the Jewish holiday called Hanukkah, took place in Jerusalem. It was winter, and Jesus was walking in the temple in the portico of Solomon. The Jews then gathered around him and were saying to him, how long will you keep us in suspense? If you are the Christ, tell us plainly. And Jesus answered them and said, I told you, and you still do not believe. And I mentioned to you that they did not believe that he was the Christ, the Messiah, the anointed one. They did not believe that. And the majority of Jews till this day still do not. But nevertheless, Jesus clearly said that he was that promised Messiah. Not only that, but as you go through that same passage a little bit further, he also lays claim to the fact that he is deity. When he says, I and the Father are one. Jesus as the Son of God, in harmony with the Father, are one. And they picked up stones to stone him to death. And he said to them, why do you seek to stone me? For all the works that I've done, i.e. the miracles that he had performed, at least the New Testament says that he did. And they said, no, not because of the good works that you've done, but because you've blasphemed, making yourself a man to be God. And Jesus said that's exactly correct. He is the promised Messiah. He is deity as the Son of God. And so what I'm saying to you here is that since we have evidence, substantial evidence, that Jesus really did exist, and the Bible clearly fulfills in every prophecy concerning the coming of the Messiah, the Christ, is fulfilled in that one person, Jesus. And the odds of that happening are so astronomical that the probability of it happening in any one person is off the scale. You cannot even imagine it. Just 8 of them alone being fulfilled in one person that was made centuries in advance and was fulfilled in one person, i.e. Jesus at this point, the odds were 100 quadrillion to 1 that it could happen. And that's only 8. There were at least 108 specific, unique prophecies made concerning this individual, Jesus, as that promised Messiah. And if that be the case, the science of probability says you cannot ever come up with the odds of that happening in one person. So I can only say to you, and I'm going to stop at this point, that Jesus made it very clear. He was that Messiah.
Do you know the odds on the lottery for the big
Hey, Remy.
No, just millions.
Some people win the lottery. What's the
Yeah, but
Let's wait till the time, okay? We're gonna have a little interview here, and then you can
thank you.
say what you want to say. Stan, thank you very much. You got something else to say?
Now, I just wanted to say that the concept of miracles, and let me just finish it with this one statement. The concept of miracles is important for one major reason. It gives authentication to God and his Bible, the revelation of God, and the authentication of miracles through the Old Testament prophets and the New Testament apostles. We're not talking about miracles happening that you hear about this one, that one, all over the place. They got to be authenticated, and they have to fit what the concept of a miracle is from the Bible. And that's in existence today. That's the difference between science and miracles in this case. Now, that's not to say that there aren't a lot of areas that science and Christianity or the Bible are in complete harmony. There are. And I believe that it's still basically somewhat the same, even when we talk about the exceptions to natural law, that if we understand that there can be a force outside that enables that to take place, then nobody questions the validity of natural laws. Yes, I'm done.
Thank you, Stan, very